Hello, 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 everybody. Good morning. Well, actually, it's afternoon here in Eastern Standard Time. Lori here from Unique in the Creek. Hope everyone is well this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is. I hope you are well. Today, I am going to put together our red poinsettia kit. Now, I already have the white poinsettia on our YouTube channel. That one is the basic one. The red one, I'm going to make it a little bit fuller than I did the demo on the tutorial on the white one. Okay? You can do your white one. If you like the fuller look, you can do it like I'm going to do with the red one, and vice versa. You can do the white one, not as full. You can do it with your red. Hello, everybody. Good morning. How are you all? Hello, hello. So, this right now is a kit, and as I was told this morning, our kits, even though we had I think we had about 1,200 kits yesterday. We only have about a third of them left. So they're selling really fast, okay? So if you want one, you definitely want to get one because, like I said, they are selling fast, okay? So in this red poinsettia kit, I'm going to go over what you get. You get 2 rolls, 2 of them. And of course, I've already pre-done 1 roll of the wide foil red Deco mesh. It's very sparkly, so it is fantastic when it's done. When the sun hits it, it's so sparkly and beautiful. So you do get 2 rolls, okay? Normally, you only need 1 roll, especially if you do it the way I did the white poinsettia. I believe I only used 1 roll and 1 piece of the other one. The reason I've been giving 2 rolls is some of the times the roll is not a full 10 yards like it's supposed to. And then people were being shorted, 1 or 2 petals. Well, we don't want that. So I just decided to give 2 rolls of mesh. And if you have a whole roll left over, you can make a whole nother one. Good morning, everybody. So you do get 2 rolls of the wide foil sparkly red mesh, okay? You also get a full roll of this emerald green, hunter, I think it's hunter green, horizontal wide stripe mesh. These are for the leaves. We're only going to be using a few pieces of this. And because we're only using a few pieces, I am going to show a project at a different time on how you can use the rest of the green. I have a whole bunch of green left over because I had green from the white poinsettia kit, and I have this green from the red poinsettia kit, and I'm going to show you how, in a later date, how to use the rest of your green. Okay, but for now, I usually only put maybe 6 petals of green on my poinsettia. I don't do it all the way around, so you will have a lot of green left. You also get this cluster of orange or gold plastic balls. Okay, you want to use plastic when you're making your poinsettia because it's going on the door, and kids slam the doors and everything. What's nice about these ones is they're individually wired already. So I'll show you how we're going to put these in at the end of the tutorial, okay? And it's pretty much the same as the white with red balls. So if you've already watched that, we're pretty much putting it in the same, okay? So you get your ornaments, you get your zip ties, you get your wire cutters, and for this kit, instead of clothespins, I actually gave you the 2 little sewing clips. And if you've watched me for a while, I like to use these sewing clips, and you'll see why in a few minutes when I start making the petals. But you do get 2 of them, and of course you get your 100 pack of zip ties. and the large Unique in the Creek board. Okay, I've semi preloaded my board, so we might as well start with the preloading of the board. Okay, for this poinsettia, I'll flip it over so you can see it a little better. I know the glare, see if I can tilt it if you see it better. Row 1 at the top, row 1, you'll see number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? On number 1, we're only going to be using number 1 for our green leaves, okay? Row number 2, we are going to be using the normal holes. So the sets of holes that are together, that's row 2. Row 3, we are going to be using the normal sets of holes, just the 2 together. So row 2 is 16, row 3 is 8. Now what's different about row 4 that I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing the normal holes plus shared holes. So I'm going to make this poinsettia a little bit fuller than I did the white one. And to achieve that, we're using shared holes, we call them. So these are the normal holes. So you're going to take your zip tie with the flat part of your zip tie head going in between the 2 holes. You're going to go down and up, and then the tail will go into the flat part of the zip tie head, and you'll hear a zipping and it'll lock. Okay, you don't want to zip it all the way down to the board because you want to have some room to work with. Okay, so that's the normal holes. But like I said, on row 4, I am also going to use shared holes. So we're going to make it a little fuller. So I'm going to go down the hole where I just put the zip tie in and then back up the other hole. So we call them shared holes because there are already zip ties in those 2 holes. And then we're just going to do it up again until you hear that zipping sound and it locks. Okay, and we're going to go all the way around, and I'll show you the back, what it looks like. It looks like stitching on the back. So row 4, this is what row 4 looks like. So you can see all the way around, it looks like stitching on the back. Okay, so you can write on your board. We're using 16 petals on row 2, 8 on row 3, 16 on row 4, and then row 5 we will be doing 8 again. So I have to preload. I did the normal holes, and then I'm going to be preloading the shared holes on row 5 as well. I'll do that once I get to row 5, closer to row 5, because it does look like a bit of a clutter for you guys looking at it right now. So when you flip it over, you can see I still have these 2 holes, I have these 2 holes, and I have these ones I still have to preload. So down and up, down and up. Again, making sure that the flat side of the zip tie is facing towards the center of the 2 holes. Okay, so now our board is preloaded. You can do this in your lap. This is an easy project to do while you're watching your shows, and it'll take about maybe 5-10 minutes to preload them. Alrighty, so that is preloading the board. Now we're going to cut our mesh. Now for this petal, you can either cut it using your rotary cutter and a cutting mat, which is the easiest way, or you can heat seal or wood burn your mesh, which means it's melting the edges of the mesh so that you don't get little strings hanging off. Now, I don't mind the little strings because I just go around and cut them off after I'm done my wreath. But there are some people that like to have a really nice, neat everything. We call those people OCD. But anyways, so if you have a little bit of OCD, there is a trick that you can do to make sure your mesh doesn't fray, okay? I'm using this glass cutting mat. You must, when you're wood burning, you must use glass, or you could even use the back of a cookie sheet or something and mark 10 inches with just a Sharpie marker so you can pull out your mesh and know where to cut. I just use this tempered glass cutting mat I got from Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive, and I do a lot of wood burning, especially for our flowers. Okay, for our flowers, that you're going to see the edges, we do a lot of it with wood burning. And wood burning means I'm going to pull out my mesh, okay, and I put the edge of my mesh right on the 0. I'll put my buble. It can help hold the mesh down. You're going to make sure that the bottom seam is lined up, and then you're going to take it's a wood burner. This wood burner is actually used, well, obviously for burning wood, for doing wood crafts and stuff like that. But it can also be used, now I'm just tighten this, and it's very, very hot. It can also be used for cutting your mesh, okay? I want to cut 48. Like I said, I am making a fuller poinsettia than I usually do because I have the 2 rolls of mesh, so why not? I am going to cut 48, not right now, I've already cut most of it, but 48 pieces of 10 by 10. So I'm going to take my wood burner, and this is just the end tip that was on the wood burner. Okay, you turn it on. Once it's hot, don't touch it with your fingers, but once it's hot, I'm going to cut right down the 10-inch mark, just slowly down the line at 10 inches, and spill my buble. And you can, I don't know if you can see, but what it does is melts the plastic on your mesh that makes the, oh, sorry. Hold on, I spilled. I don't want it all over my laptop or on my, it makes the, why is this not? It makes the edge melted so it won't fray again, okay? So that is one way you can cut your mesh. Now if you're working in an enclosed area, you should be wearing some personal protection because you are burning plastic, okay? Sorry guys, I'm just a mess here this morning. Okay, so I'll do it one more time. We won't use the buble, we'll just use my phone to hold it down. Run this along, open it up. I'm gonna run it along the bottom along the line here so I make sure I get a nice good square. And I'm going to take my wood burner and I'm just going straight down the 10-inch mark. Okay, so that's how you can wood burn your mesh to cut it. Or you can just simply take your rotary cutter, just make sure it's a nice sharp blade. If you have a nice sharp blade on your rotary cutter, you're not going to get too much fray. You're going to roll it out. Okay, make sure the bottom line is lined up because we want our pieces squared. You're going to take your rotary cutter, and I'm going to cut it at the 20, and then I'm going to again cut it at the 10. Okay? And another way, if you don't have a rotary cutter or a mat, you can get a piece of cardboard. Cut your cardboard at 10 inches, so just a piece of cardboard. I'm going to use my Measure Buddy, so it's going to mimic the cardboard. And what you can do is unroll your mesh, put your piece of cardboard inside your mesh, the 10-inch cardboard, and then flip your mesh over. Okay, make sure it's all lined up. Take your 2 little clips that you got in your kit, clip it. Okay, and this is just for those that don't have a cutting mat or are first timers and don't have all the fancy tools, which you don't need. Okay, so we got that in. I got my measure buddy in there, or you can have your cardboard. And what you're going to do, once you've got it clipped, you're going to flip your mesh over. So flip, keep it lined up, flip it again. Okay, do a few flips that you can do a few pieces of mesh. I flipped it 4 times. And then take the clips up and clip that whole package thing there. And then you're going to cut it right off the roll. Okay? Now this doesn't give you as precise pieces as, say, the cutting mat or wood burning. However, it does work. So fold your packet that you just cut, and you're going to get your scissors and slide it in the edge and cut the edge of your mesh. Make sure you use the sharp scissors, because the sharper the scissors, the less fray you're going to get. And you're going to cut the edge. And then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to cut the other side. Right down the middle. And there we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces cut just like that. So you can do probably up to 6 or 8 like that, but just keep in mind, you can see the edges not that straight and everything, but it does work. Okay, so if you don't have the cutting mat and the rotary cutter or the wood burner, you can do it like that. Alrighty? You don't need the measure buddy. The measure buddy measures from 8 to 20 inches. You can just cut a piece of cardboard and use that to cut your mesh. Okay? So now let's get into actually making the petal for our poinsettia. So our board is loaded. We got our pieces of mesh. Like I said, I'm using 48 pieces of red mesh, okay? You will have some left over because you do get 2 rolls. And what you're going to do is make sure you have your 2 clips that you got in your kit, okay? You got your 10 by 10 piece in front of you in a square, okay? You're going to turn it into a diamond shape. And when you turn it into a diamond shape, when you turn it, you want to make sure that your finished edge of the mesh is on your top left and bottom right. This is really important, especially for this fold, because if you don't have them all going the same way, it is going to look a little funny, because you're going to see your petal curves a little bit. And if you don't have the start of your petal correct, the curve will go the other way. So again, just to recap, these are the edges I cut with my rotary cutter or my wood burner, and these are the finished edges up at the top. I am going to turn it to the left so that, and my right hand always has my tattoo. There's my finished edge up at the top left of my diamond, and the other finished edge is at the bottom right. Alrighty, we all got that? What you're then going to do is take your top corner of your mesh and bring it and meet it down at the bottom. So you're making a triangle, just like that. Now, this petal, we're not concerned about the bottom triangle part here. There is some petal folds that we would like the bottom corner totally lined up. This petal, we're going to be more concerned of the right and left corner, okay? So once you bring the top corner down to the bottom corner, you're going to then work your way up to the right corner up here. And that corner is where you want to make sure both edges are meeting. So they're both side by side or meeting on the edge here. And then you can clip it so it stays and it doesn't move once you put the sides together. Okay, and you're going to do the same on this side. So there's my finished edge. What I'm going to do is bring it up and run it right along the cut edge so it looks like one uniform piece. And then I'm going to take the second clip and just clip that one down. Okay. Now I'll do a few of these while we're going, but this is what it looks like. So we have the corners looking like one uniform piece. Now, if your bottom corner doesn't match, don't worry about it. Like if it's not lined up or whatever, this is the most important, is the top and the top left and right corner. Alrighty? Then what you're going to do is this bottom corner, we are going to fold it up till the tip hits the ridge of this top of our triangle. Okay, so the bottom corner, just flip it up. Don't go past this, just to the ridge. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And then what I do is I put my left hand with my pointer finger, just running it along, right along the center where the bottom fold is. And then I'm going to flip it over my hand, just like that. Okay, so this is what we have. The 2 points are side by side. And what you want to do is make sure that the 2 points, our 2 corners, are about the same length. And you can adjust down here to make sure that both are the same length. Okay? That looks pretty good. And then what you're going to do is we're going to pinch 1, 2. Pinch that bottom, and we made a nub. Okay? And this is what you have. So you have 2 petals, and you can see what I was talking about, the curve. All our curve is going to go the exact same way. So you're going to take this nub, take your zip tie, your board with your zip ties. This is why we preload them. And you're going to stick the nub in about 1/2 inch into your zip tie and pull tight. Okay? Then you can take your clips off and we're going to move to the next one. So that is the petal for the whole thing. So we call this, I call it the Bubba petal. I've named all the petals so that when people have questions or email us with concerns or questions or how do you do this, or even looking in our YouTube channel, I've named all the petals so we know which petal you're referring to. I think I have about 18 different petals. So to make things easy, I just named them. Bubba is my son's nickname. So we have the lolly petal that looks like the scoop. That's just named after my daughter's nickname. So, and the Cree petal, which is, you know, so on and so forth. Okay, let's do this again. Square piece, 10 by 10. Put it into a diamond shape. Trying to get this where you guys can see it. Okay, diamond shape. Again, serged or factory edge. Top left, bottom right. These are my cut edges. Take the top corner, bring it to the bottom corner. We're not, as soon as you bring it to the bottom corner, we're not too worried about if it matches up or not. Again, what we're more worried about is making sure that the edges of our corners on the right and left are what match up, because that is what you're going to see on the poinsettia. Okay. Now I have on my YouTube channel, you'll see I have several different ways to make a poinsettia so that you do not have to use this particular petal, but it really turns out spectacular when it's finished with this petal. So this is why I'm teaching this one. All right, so there's our triangle formation. We are now going to flip up that bottom corner, till it almost to the ridge of the top here. Don't go past it. Put your left hand right, my finger is going right down the middle where the point is, and I'm flipping it over my hand. And when you put your middle finger on that point and put it over your hand, it pretty much lines up the ends perfectly, okay? So you can see I don't even have to move my petals because they're both exactly the same size. And then we're going to pinch the bottom, pinch the top up, and we got our petal formation, and you're going to go into the next zip tie. Okay, about 1/2 inch, pull tight, take your clips off, and we're going to continue all the way around row 2. So I'll do a few more. I do have petals made, so you're not going to have to sit here and watch me over and over and over make these petals. Okay. So the top corner, this is really important. I can't stress it enough. Top left, the serge edge, top, bottom right. Bring the corner down. We're going to line up the corners here, just like that. All right, flatten it out, flip this up to the middle, put my left hand down where my finger is going right down the center, flip it over my hand, and like I said, they're usually about the same size when you do it like that, and then scrunch, scrunch, put it in the zip tie, and go around. All right, and we're just gonna take our clips off and open it. And as you can see, I'll get it a little bigger, where all the petals are going the same way, and that's what we want. We want them all going the same way. Now for the green leaves, I'm going to show you the green leaves. Usually I do the green ones at the end, but because I heat sealed my green, I can actually put them on without them getting all tattered. I'll show you how I'm going to do it on the front. I'll do a couple right from the start, and then I'll do a couple at the end. So you can see how to do it if you want to wait to put the green leaves on till the end. We are going to use row 1 for the green leaves. Again, what you're going to do is you're going to take, now I only put a few green leaves on my poinsettias, okay? So this is the top of my poinsettia. So I usually use, I'll skip this hole. I'll use these two holes, and then I'll go directly across and use the corresponding 2 holes at the other side. So they kind of match, okay? And to do your green, you're going to take a zip tie, bring it, put it down through the hole, and just leave it sitting on the table. So your zip tie is in an L shape with your flat edge of your zip tie tail, head facing the tail, okay? I have my green mesh cut at 10 inches as well. Now you can do this petal, but I like to do the petal I'm going to show you right now because it really does look like leaves when it's done, okay? So this time we are going to use this 10 by 10 square curled down. So with all the other petals we use curl up and it rocks back and forth, right? We're going to use curl down. Okay, again, there's our factory edge. I'm going to put it into a diamond shape. Again, making sure that my factory edge is on the top left, bottom right. And for this petal, I am going to scrunch from the bottom corner to the top corner by just dragging and pinching or pleating my mesh. So pinch, pinch, and you can see I'm dragging my mesh with my thumb and capturing it with my 4 fingers. Pinch, So you're just dragging it right from the bottom corner right up to the top corner, okay? And this is what you get. It's almost like a bow tie formation, right? Okay. Then what I'd like to do is I'm going to flip it up, and you can see that it does indeed look like leaves of a flower. Where I've pinched it in the middle and flipped it up, right here, I'm going to put that spot right onto the Unique in the Creek board, and I'm going to come around and do up the zip tie, making sure before I tighten the zip tie that my leaves are facing out and they're both about the same length like that. And then once I'm happy with it, tighten it up around. Okay. You're going to cut that off. And then I'm going to go to the next one and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to go down, again, the hole to the outside of the board. Take my piece of mesh, curl down, diamond shape, left, top left, bottom right. And again, we are going to pinch and drag from bottom corner to top corner. Pinch, pinch, all the way dragging. Now you don't want to do this on a tablecloth or anything because you'll catch some of your tablecloth in your pinch. So I take that, I'm going to put that middle part right on the board and come around and do that up. Now you can, like I said, you can do as many green leaves as you want. I only do a few, but you do have the opportunity to do 16 all the way around should you want to. Okay, so I'm just going to leave, I'm going to do 2 here, and I'm going to do 2 at the bottom. I'll do the bottom ones once we're finished the whole thing. Okay, so that's how you do your green leaves. Now I'm going to continue going around row 2. We'll finish this off. I have pre-made my petals, and how I've done that is I use little clear rubber bands that you get from the dollar store in the hair section. You get a package of them for like, you get 500 for $1 something. They're just clear rubber bands. And I use this just so I can do more of the wreath. Because once you do cut all your mesh, you can do the rest of the steps in the comfort of your recliner and your Netflix. So what I do is I do my petal, okay, and I have a little cutting mat that I keep on my lap. It's just a small 16 by 12. We do sell these ones on our website, and this is what I use on my lap. Okay, and I have this on my lap, and I'll do it exactly what I'm doing right now, right on my lap. And then I have an empty laundry bin or laundry basket that once I'm done my petal and I've elastic band it, I just throw it in my basket. This one I'm using, I don't know, one of these container things with all my petals in it, so I just throw them in there. And you do the exact same, flip it up, flip it over. Okay, make sure they both are the same length. Do your scrunch. And then I take one of these little rubber bands and I just put it around the bottom. Take this off, and then I toss it into my basket. Okay? So once you're done all your petals, you can either, if you don't have a rubber band, you just keep going around and putting your petals in, or you can do like this. You just get your petal, stick it in your zip tie, and it goes super fast all the way around. And you want to make sure when you're putting them in that your curve is all going the same way. And if you folded it correctly, the finished edge is what you see on the top, and not your cut edge, which may, you know, be tattered and stuff if you didn't wood burn it. So it's just a way to hide the imperfections you don't want your customer or your friends or whoever you're making it for to see. So we're going to go around. We have 16 pieces that we're going around with. So as you can see, it's quite easy once you go around, put them in, and if they're already elastic band, it's literally sticking them in. And now you'll be able to see the green in behind the red. Okay, one more. This does get pretty big, but it is the perfect size poinsettia for your front door. It's gorgeous. Okay, so we are done row 2. So what we're going to do now is going to go around with your wire nippers. I like to give it a little pull. So if you don't squeeze really hard, you can use this tool to help pull it tighter and snip. Snip. There we go. We are ready for our next row, which is row 3. We're going to be doing 8 petals, and you're going to do it exactly the same. It doesn't matter where you start, as long as you just continue going around and making sure that your curve is going the same way as your row 2. As you can see, when you use the Untitled Chapter boards, they're really, you take the guesswork out of everything. So I could finish row 3, leave it for a couple weeks if I had to go do something or whatever, come back and still know exactly where I need to go to finish it off. Okay, once you're done that row, make sure all our petals are nice. Make sure they're laying nice and they're not caught on any other ones. Because you're going to do all this work, you want to make sure it looks nice and it's fixed pretty. Okay, now we're going to go around and then again cut these off. So if your hand gets sore or whatever, don't force yourself. You can see where you left off. Take a break. Pause the video. Well, obviously, once you get to this point, you should know how to make the petals by now, so you probably don't need to watch me make the petals again. You could fast forward right to when I do the center. Now, here's where I'm doing it a little different than the white one, because I'm making the red one a little fuller. I'm using row 4. I'm using all the holes, so the normal holes and the shared holes. Okay, so we're going to be doing 16 all the way around. So pull out all my petals. And again, we're going to start wherever and just work our way around. So put it in, again, about 1.5 inches and go around, putting the petal into each zip tie. Now, it doesn't matter if you go clockwise or counterclockwise. And this is a wide foil mesh, so as you can see, it's very sparkly. Just try not to get the neighboring zip tie caught in the zip tie that you just zipped up. And just keep spinning it around and putting the next petal in. So again, like I said, the white one that's on our YouTube channel, I only used the normal 8 holes. However, we got lots of mesh, so I wanted to show you that you can make it even fuller. And if you wanted to make it take it even more fuller, you can do shared holes on row 2 from here to here and actually add even more red petals if you want. But of course, if you were selling it, you would charge more for these extra petals, sunflower or poinsettia, than you would for the less full poinsettia. And so you can see how it layers on top of each other and hides the board and starts making that flower formation. So once you've got the petal down pat, and if you can get your petals pre-made, like I said, it goes fairly quick. So make sure your petals are nice as you're putting them in. So you can see they're kind of layered, kind of going sideways, and you want to keep that pattern going around your wreath. Almost done. Did you guys see how that whimsical Christmas tree turned out last night? I did post pictures. I didn't even remake the bow. I just used the bow that I made on the live last night. So it turned out so cute. Like, I think it's got to be one of my favorite Christmas trees I've made. Super cute. There we go. We're done that row. So I'm going to show you another tool. Now, you do not have to have this tool. However, if you start making a lot of Unique in the Creek wreaths, which a lot of people do, because I'm going to give you a heads up, it is addicting and a lot of fun. You can use a zip tie gun, which helps save your arms, because your arm can get sore and your hands can get sore. This is a zip tie gun. This one's a metal one. I do have a link for it on my website under Lori's Tools for Amazon. However, I also sell them on our website, uniqueinthecreek.com. It's about, I think, $20, but it's a great tool, because what you do is there's that slit right here in the gun, okay? And what you do is you slide this tail of the zip tie just parallel into that slit. When you pull, do a couple pulls, it tightens the zip tie and cuts it for you at the same time. So you can see, like I said, if you're making a lot of Unique in the Creek wreaths, how this comes in handy. Again, you don't need the fancy tools. I have given you the wire nipper, but once you become addicted, or if you become addicted, you may want to look at, you know, getting some of the tools, getting a bigger cutting mat, getting a zip tie gun. But you only get these things if you absolutely need it. If you're just starting out making a business, you don't need all this stuff. It's just nice to have. Yeah, lots of people like their zip tie gun. It took me a while for everybody to convince me to get one. But once I got one, I'm like, oh gosh, what have I been waiting for? All right, look how big we're getting already. Isn't that gorge? I don't think I can get my Mevo to zoom anymore. Oh, there we go. All right, we are on the last hole. So we are going to preload. I've already preloaded the normal holes. And I'm going to go in and do the shared holes because I'm going to do 8 all the way around. So you're going to go down one hole, back up the other. Again, making sure your flat part is going in between the holes and doing the shared holes because we're going to put 8 pieces in here. And then we're almost done. So again, when you flip it over, it'll look like stitching on the back. And a huge selling point for Unique in the Creek boards is the nice neat back that we have. And the fact that there's nothing on the back that would scratch anybody's door. It looks like a mess of a thing. You want to make sure when you flip it over, you have stitching all the way around. Now, if you're like me and write on the board, you can actually take an alcohol swab and erase your Sharpie marker. Usually I do it on the front, and then I don't even have to worry about it, but this time I did it on the back so I would remember, so I can rub that out. But anyways, row 5, it looks like stitching all the way around. And again, I'm going to start. I'll start in the normal holes. Now you don't want to put your nub too far in that it's going to cover those 2 center holes, okay? Because those 2 center holes is where we're going to put our gold ornaments for the center. So I'm going to cut the tails off as I go so it doesn't look so confusing on the camera to you guys. Yes, it comes with 2 rolls. I only used, even with the fuller poinsettia I'm doing right now, I still use only a roll and a half of mesh. Okay, I have to make a few more petals. So if you're just joining us, I'm going to show you how I did it. So factory edge, top left, bottom right, curl up. Top corner to the bottom corner, and we are going to worry about the right and left corner being lined up. Get your little clips that you get in your kit, put them on so the corners don't move. Flip this bottom corner up, flip it over your hand, make sure the 2 petal corners are the same length. Scrunch it, and you can stick it in. And take your clips off. Still going or following my counterclockwise circle around with the zip ties. We're almost done. We're almost done. Isn't it gorge? Yes, we do have several poinsettia designs on our YouTube channel. If you just go under the large board category or even the Christmas category, you will see the different ways I've done poinsettias. I've used foam. The foam poinsettia is super, super pretty as well. And different centers I've used for my poinsettias. But this one I was teaching because this is a fairly easy petal. And it's a really nice fold that if you're not able to wood burn your mesh, it still turns out really nice and you don't see all kinds of frays or anything. All right, 2 more and we're done. So there's a little fray here. Usually when I'm taking my picture, I'll go around and cut off any strings I see. Because once you stop touching your mesh, it'll stop fraying. We will put the center in, but first I'm going to put the rest of those green leaves in. So the poinsettia, if you want to do a kit, we do have it in white with red ornaments, and then the red with gold ornaments, which is what I'm doing right now. And take your time. Don't overthink things. Take your time. There's no rush. I do it fast. I've been doing these for many years. You don't have to do it fast. You need to take your time. Because with the video tutorials, you can stop, start, rewind, freeze frame, whatever you need to do to learn how to make your petal fold. And like I said, once you get the petal fold down pat, you can probably do it with your eyes closed. And most definitely, if once you get to row 5, you can do it with your eyes closed. Okay, our last one. Wiggle that nub in there. There we go. And we are done. This part. Now, we want to make sure all the petals are nice and pretty. Isn't that beautiful? So now I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to show you how to put your green leaves on if you want to do it at the end. So I put the 2 green leaves at the beginning, I put up here. So what I'm going to do is directly go right across and put 2 here. Now, a lot of people like to do stuff in 3s. You could do another set down here if you wanted. It's totally up to you. Or you can go all the way around and make like a green frame. You do get the whole roll of green. So you do have enough mesh to do it. However, I only do a few, and then later on, another time, I'm going to show you a really great project you can do with the leftover green from your flower kits. Okay, so this one again, 10 by 10, I'm doing it curled down. Let me grab a white or my pink cutting board to see the green better. Okay. You're going to take your zip tie, and like I said, I'm going to go right diagonal. I'm going to go put a zip tie there. So I'm just putting it from the hole to the outside of the board so it is resting on the mesh, and make sure your flat part of your zip tie head is facing up towards the ceiling. Take your mesh, top left, bottom right, curl down. We're going to pinch, pinch, and drag, pinch and drag all the way up the center from the bottom corner to the top corner, and then you're going to flip it up, and you're going to make sure your leaves are nice. Now, because we're doing it upside down, we want this part to be facing the front of the wreath. So what I do is just flip it over, and there's the center. I'm just going to put the zip tie through where I'm holding it and tuck it under so it's sitting on the board. And do your zip tie around it. So you can just tuck it under. And then when you flip it over, it's nice and neat on the front. So this is if you want to do it at the end. You can do it at the beginning. It gets so big that sometimes the green leaves get a little tattered from rubbing against your arm. So that's why I teach it how to do it at the beginning and at the end, so it's your choice. Again, curl down, top left, bottom right, corner to corner, just dragging. Flip it. I'm going to flip it upside down, and where this curved part is, I'm putting my zip tie through it, tucking it under so it's sitting on the board, and we'll come around with our zip tie. And then fix these up. And there we go. So you can add more, like I said. I'm just going to add the 4. And then at the top, there's 2 holes right up here. We're going to use those for our hanging holes. So you're going to take your zip tie, go down 1 hole, back up the other, come around, have a little zip, and there's your hanger. Okay, very easy. We have a nice neat back, nothing to scratch the door, and I'm going to show you when I'm going to put the ornaments in. You can put your business card or make up some stickers with your business name so people know where they bought it from. And now we're going to put our ornaments in. Okay, so in the kit, and this actually is, I will tell you how many inches finished. It is, from green to green leaf is 30 inches by about 25. So it is a really, really nice size. Okay, perfect for your door. Of course, I'll take a picture and you'll see what it looks like on my front door. Now you're going to take your ornaments that you got in your kit, and they are twisted. They're individually wired, and they're like an antique gold color, so they're a really pretty ornament. You can't buy these in the stores. However, you can use any gold ornaments if you don't have the kit. And we're going to untwist these somehow. I didn't put my glasses on. I'm going to untwist these from, so there's 2. There's 3, 4. I can't see which way it's going because I don't have my glasses on. There we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're not going to use all 8. There is a couple extra. These are a little bit smaller than the red ones, but they do work. They work nicely for our red poinsettia here. So you're going to take one ornament, and then another ornament, and make sure they're, oh, that's weird. The wire's in your hand, and you're going to take a third one. So I have 2 I'm putting at the same size, and this third one I'm going to just put down just a little bit, because that's going to be my center ornament. So if you look at the side view, I got these 2 a little bit higher up and one just a little bit down. Once you have that, give it a twist. Okay, so there's one set. And then you're going to take another 3. Now you can use all of them. It's totally up to you. You have 8 of them. And these 3, I'm just going to put the same, all the same length, and then twist those 3. So you're making one one wire for each set, okay? Then what we're gonna do is take one of these wires. Now I'm gonna cut some of this off. Obviously you don't need them that long. Okay, I'm gonna take, there we go. Take one of the bunch and put it down one hole in the center. Just like that. And then you're going to take the second bunch, cut that on a little bit. And you're going to put that down the other hole that's in the center. So lift your board so you're not hitting your table when you're putting them down. We're going to make sure that they're facing downwards. There we go. I actually probably can put one more right here. So let's just take this one and I'll put it down. So it's 7 I use. There, that looks good. Perfect. So I'm going to flip it over. There's the one bunch. I'll cut this long one off that we just did. Okay, give it a little tug and just give it a twist. Only one twist until we make sure that it's in there properly. And look, it's perfect. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the outside and 1 in the middle. So I did use 7. All right. And it perfectly covers the center. You do have one extra in case one breaks or whatever. But these are plastic. That looks perfect to me. I'm going to flip this over. And I am going to cut some of this wire off, the excess. Okay. And what I'm going to do is put the excess of that wire back down the hole. We don't want anything scratching anybody's door. Cut that off again. My arms aren't strong enough, so I'll do 2 at a time instead of 4. That's a little bit easier. There we go. And I'm going to take that and put that down the hole. Alrighty. Now this, it's pretty flush, but I do like sometimes to put, just to be sure, I put a little bit of glue over something like this so that when it dries, the glue dries, it's like a rubber bumper. There. You don't have to do it like that, but I like to do it like that. That way I know for sure nothing is going to scratch my customer's door or anybody's door. I don't want my door scratched either. And then flip it over. Now what you can do, you don't have to, because these are all nice and snug. What you can do, if you want, is put a little dab of glue in between each ornament and push them together. And that way they stay in their cluster. But you don't have to do this part. But I teach it anyways. Because then all the ornaments are stuck together. The only thing is you get little glue strings, which will pull off. And then just hold them together. And there, while that's drying, we're going to start pulling up some of our petals because we don't want it looking flat. We want, it does fit between 2 doors, no problem. But we want it to, look a little bit 3D-ish. And there we go. A beautiful, nice, full red and gold, the traditional poinsettia. What do you guys think? Not bad, right? Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. So you can see the thickness of it is quite thin. These are beautiful to hang like above a fireplace. Like I said, it is fairly large. You can hang one on a mirror if you have a nice big mirror. You can hang it outside. The whole thing is plastic. The whole thing is plastic. You can put this outside. So you could put it on in a cemetery. You could put it on your fence. You can put it on your garden gate, wherever you want, okay? Because the whole thing is plastic, including the ornaments. The only thing I suggest, if you are going to put it outside, is to spray it with a UV protectant, because it's not the rain or anything that will ruin your flower. It's the sunlight that will fade it, okay? I suggest using this Scotch Guard. I bought this on Amazon, like in a 2-pack. And I spray all my flowers with it. It does extend the life of the color of your mesh, because like anything in the sun, it's going to fade. So this is water and sun shield with UV protection. I put mine outside. I give it a nice coat of this stuff, let it dry, and give it a second coat. That will probably get you through, if you're putting it right out in the inclement weather, that will get you through the season where so that you still have this nice vibrant red poinsettia. And that's like any of the wreaths. If you want to put it outside, or if you're putting it on a door that really gets some heavy duty sunlight and you want to preserve the coloring, spray it. Spray it, give it a good couple sprays, and it will last you the season. Alrighty, how is that? Not bad, eh? The red poinsettia, and my little glue nubby thing is dry. Got my hanger here. You're gonna put your business card and or make some little stickers that people can contact you, because you know Mary's going to buy this at a craft show. She's going to bring it home, put it up on her door. Her friend Doris is going to come over, and Doris is going to want one too. And Mary's going to be like, oh, this is the lady that made it. You can contact her here. Hi, Don lad. All right, my friends. So that is the red fuller poinsettia. If you don't want to use as much mesh and you want to save some of your mesh, you can check out the white tutorial. I don't use as much mesh, and it's still just as beautiful. All right, my friends, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to email us at info@uniqueinthecreek.com. We have the best customer service on the planet. They will get back to you right away. And again, thank you. And I wouldn't mind if you guys shared with your friends the new wreathing revolution and the easy way to make your own DIY wreaths and start your own business perhaps. All right, everybody. Like I said, I will be back. I'm not sure when. I'm going to show you a really cool project to use all the extra green that you may have from buying our flower kits. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.